On Wednesday, August 12th, 2020, on the WPAT 930 radio station, broadcasted into 30 million homes in the New York tri-state area, Hawk Newsome, president and founder of the Black Lives Matter chapter in New York, was in the studio and joined on Zoom by a number of others on the Voice of the Kids radio show. Here are Mr. Newsome's responses to Dr. Surajit Khanna's questions and comments, some of which were recorded off air.
Out there, listen, we have the Black Lives Matter president for the New York chapter is here and has started a movement. I wouldn't say just across the country, I would say across the world. And this is a great time to be alive in my day to see it coming and happening. So I'm going to introduce to you, to the audience, none other than our brother, Hawk Newsome.
Hi, Mr. Newsome. This is Dr. Surajit Khanna. I am the champion from Voice of the Kids. I'm actually a child advocate. I talk and promote the child safety. But could you please introduce yourself to the audience, to at least 30 million homes? So it would be nice, if they can hear from you, who you are, what you do. Go ahead, Mr. Newsome.
First and foremost, I'm a servant. God put me on this path to serve the people. So I am doing what I view as the Lord's work.
Yes.
Right? I believe that historically, Jesus is the most famous black revolutionary to ever walk this earth.
Yes.
Amen.
He was an Italian Hawk. What? I thought he was Italian.
He's still your paisan, though. He's all of our paisans. Yeah, so I founded Black Lives Matter New York.
Yes.
And Black Lives Matter New York has emerged as one of the most impactful Black Lives Matter organizations in the country. We've gained recognition nationally, and we've been known for our efficient efforts. Some of those are we negotiated a few years ago with the governor of New York State, to receive a partial pardon for 36,000 people who were on parole so that they can vote. We had their voting rights restored. We're responsible for 4 pieces of legislation that the governor just passed in the Say Their Names bill. In addition to that, we give out schools and book bags to kids. We choose 10 families on Christmas, and we give them a real Christmas. Cell phones, iPads, computers, bicycles. We do a lot in our community. During COVID, during the crisis, we actually put some demands on the government, which were adopted. There are about 3 of them. But in addition to that, we started something called the People's Food Program. And in the height of COVID, we shielded up with our mask on and our PPE, and we delivered food to 150 families every day in the Bronx. And this was all paid for by the people. We've never received a government dime. Recently, we've partnered with organizations like Ben & Jerry's, Rihanna's Fenty brand gave us some money, Nick Cannon gave us some money, and Impossible Burger. Impossible Burger are those plant-based burgers, which taste like the real thing. And we gave about 5,000 of those out in the unhealthiest county in New York, which is the Bronx. So it's all about.
I was born in the Bronx.
This is the best city in the whole world, Bronx. If you have not visited it, please do visit. It's the best city in the whole world.
I was born there.
The Bronx is the best city in the whole world. I wouldn't disagree with you on that.
Mr. Newsome, how long has this Black Lives Matters been around? And how did you get involved in this?
Yes, about 5, 6 years. My parents were activists, They met at a civil rights rally in the Bronx in 1969. I was born on April 4th, 1977. That's the day that Dr. King was assassinated. Another huge civil rights figure, Adam Clayton Powell Jr. He also died on that date in a different year. So Maya Angelou's birthday is actually April 4th. So my whole life, I grew up in a very pro-black house. Like, I sit back and like, Dad, why you don't like John Wayne? John Wayne is a racist, son. Okay, we sit back and watch. You remember the movie Top Gun?
Yes.
We watched Top Gun. I was like, Dad, I want to go into the Air Force, and I want to be a pilot. And he was like, if you go into that white man's military, then you will mop the floors that the planes take off from. It was in law school when I was bitten by the Black Lives Matter bug when Trayvon Martin was killed, right? And I organized a rally at my law school, which was Toro at the time. I went to Toro and Howard Law. My first real march was across the Brooklyn Bridge. We got down there. There was some celebrity activists having a rally. And then they took pictures and they were leaving. And we like, what's up? We came out here to fight. We came out here to march. And about 5 of us in a banner took the Brooklyn Bridge. By the time we turned around, there was 3,000 people behind us, about 20 police scooters and helicopters flying over. I continued in the movement, but when the cop that killed Eric Garner, his name is Daniel Pantaleo,
yes.
When he was acquitted for the murder of Eric Garner,
yes,
that's when we started marching. That was December 3rd, I think, 2014, and I've been marching ever since. Like, this movement will grab a hold of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Please tell me about the violence. We know that it is only a small percentage of people. Are they hijacking the purpose of your protest, or are they breaking windows? Or what is your opinion on this?
It's I think it's the same purpose. I'm known for being really truthful, really honest. So I'll give you that. If you sit back in your house and you watch Eric Garner die, nothing happened. Trayvon died, nothing happened. Sandra Bland died, nothing happened. Deborah Danner died, nothing happened. Stephen Clark died, nothing happened. No police help, no local government help, no federal government help. All you have inside of you is rage and frustration. True. So if you go out there and you break something, you smash something, I personally cannot blame you. You know what I mean? I will not condemn you because I understand your pain, your rage, and your frustration. Now, why they would say that it's hijacked is because that's what the news focuses on, right? Let's say 95% of the people who are there protesting are peaceful. The 5% will get elevated on the news because that's what America wants to see. America wants the scary black people. But what America doesn't tell you is during the 1960s, when we were rioting and when we were burning things down and we had a peaceful movement running parallel to that, we had the most progressive decade in the history of blacks on this land, right? So if you start talking to me about, looting and violence, that's just a microcosm of America's imperialistic nature. Like, let's be real. When America has a problem with somebody, they drop bombs and they send soldiers. Why? In the name of freedom. So when somebody breaks a window in the name of freedom in America and they take a piece of clothing or they take an air conditioner or whatever, they're a villain. But America goes and steals resources. America steals entire countries. How can they look at us and say that we're bad when we are only mimicking the precedent set by this country and its imperialistic, capitalistic nature?
Mr. Newsome, what is your opinion on reparations?
Now, you know that the 15th, I believe it's the 15th, is the it's the National Day for Reparations, right? Okay. And a lot of things are getting hyped up, but nobody's talking about that. There's a rally at Trump Towers, in front of Trump Towers, at 1 o'clock p.m. But nobody's really talking about it. Let's be realistic. America does not give about black people, okay? If they cared about us, they would cut the check. If all of these corporations and all of our white allies and all of these people really cared about black people in this particular moment, in this particular time where everybody's screaming out Black Lives Matter, they would be screaming out pay them reparations at the same time. But they don't want to do that because they know with economics come empowerment. Now, we can't look at economics from the traditional standpoint, which is the capitalist dog-eat-dog standpoint. We need to look at our economics from a community standpoint by thinking that none of us are good until we're all good, right?
Yes.
Now, the last time that reparations was really
a hot topic was before 9/11. 9/11 happened and everybody stopped talking about reparations, but now it is resurged. And who's out there on the forefront? Nike will put black people on a commercial and put Black Lives Matter all over billboards. But will Nike say, pay them reparations? Will Disney say, pay them reparations? Will all these corporations say, pay them reparations? When the churches open back up, will all the preachers stand up and say reparations now? How are we going to respond to that? Because that's America paying a penance, the same penance that they paid to the indigenous brothers and sisters of this land, some of whom were of African descent, same that they paid to Japanese people, same that they paid to Jewish people. You had a Jewish man, Bernie Sanders, stand up and say, well, I don't know if reparations is the way to go. I don't know if money was the way to go. And we had to take a step back and say, hold on, sir. Were you against it when Jewish people received it? Like people are your friends to an extent. And there are some real allies out there. Hopefully they'll join us out there this weekend. But let's be really real about this. America was built on slave labor. America owes a tremendous debt to us, and until it's paid, there can never be a true reckoning. There can never be a true reckoning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Newsome. I really appreciated your time here. I know it means a lot to our audience and also to the entire community, those who are listening, especially the Black Lives Matter, because that's the hot topic today. I know you have been very busy coming to this studio and giving your time here is awesome. I really liked it. Hopefully we can join hands, we can work together, because I believe what you said about anti-racism. So we have to, doesn't matter what color we are, we got to talk, we got to protest, and we got to preach on anti-racism. Thank you very much, Mr. Newsome.